working through all the free video tutorials on the Bernette 33 and the Bernette 35 soy machine. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, where we do free video tutorials on sewing machines, embroidery machines, and sergers. In this video, I'm going to take some time explaining the accessories that come with this machine. There are similar accessories in both these models, but in the Bernette 35, there are 2 extra feet. I'm also going to go through some of the threads and needles I will be using going forward as we get these machines threaded up. And you can find a link in the description below to all the videos for these machines. And if you're watching these videos on a phone, you'll be able to click on the More area to open up the description to find all the links. And since you're on a small screen, click More again to see all the information that is available that we've included as free links to finding some of these bonus accessories. I'm also going to include information in this video of the optional accessories. There's a wonderful foot package that you can purchase, and it just gives you all the extra accessories all in one. And I would also recommend, if you're doing any quilting, a walking foot. And again, links are below, and we do get credit for your purchase, so we appreciate it greatly. So first off, there is a manual in each of these machine boxes, one for each of the models, and also the links below, should you lose this manual, will get you to a PDF where you could either print off or just look digitally online. I also, as I too, like to open manuals and just make sure that I'm not missing anything extra that doesn't normally come with the machine in here. And you know what I found? I found a QR code for a dust cover that you can make for this machine. So let me just show you what we're going to find if you take your phone and put it up to this code. Open your camera, hold it up to the QR code, click the link, and it will open up to the directions that you can look at or print off for a DIY cover for this machine. And if you click on sewing instructions, there it is, super cute, giving you something to do with your machine as you kind of get started, step-by-step pictures and fabric requirements. So if you're looking for a first-time project, why don't you click on that link in that manual, and you will be taken to a fun free project. There's also a free workbook that you can download that Bernette has created that takes you beyond the manual, so I would highly recommend that. Again, the link is in that description below, something you can save to your computer, print off. If you don't have a printer these days, you can take it on a USB stick or email your local printer and they will print it for you, or even just print it at your library. Okay, let's get in to where you're going to find the accessories that came with this machine. They're going to be tucked in this cute little compartment, and by the way, this actually slides off to expose the free arm of the machine. So as you kind of get used to lifting on this corner, that will roll that forward. And it's up to you whether you want to keep them in this little Ziploc bag, or as I might do today, is just dump them all loose into this opening. Of course, some people put chocolate in there, and that's always nice and handy to keep you going on your sewing projects. But let's just kind of go through these first. And like I said, we are going to also go through the optional accessories that you can get with this machine. So in no particular order per se, let's just start off. There is oiling places for you and me to do to keep this machine running in top condition. So your oil should be of a clear soy machine oil. So if any reason this is much yellower than you think, just go ahead and find some fresh soy machine oil to replace this. But we will be doing a video on how to clean and oil this machine. So I'm going to just put that in first. I was noticing that there was not a cleaning brush that came with the Bernettes. So I'm going to put a link to my absolute favorite cleaning brush. It's called a little Dust It. And what happens is this is like a Swiffer for soy machines. So when we go into our cleaning video, what's going to happen is there's going to be lots of lint that's going to gather up down in this area. And once you pull everything out, you can just take it and go swish, swish really fast, and it takes all the lint out. And that is the culprit when soy machines don't want to work. And then we'll put fresh oil in, and you'll be smooth stitching from here on out. So you can use any brush you want, but this is my go-to favorite. And when I'm teaching classes, I always have this close by because students don't always clean their machines, and I can do it just really fast class super quick and get them back on track when they've had troubles and the machine is not stitching. The next thing I'm holding is actually a buttonhole foot. So yes, doing buttonholes. The bernette 35 has a slightly easier way to do buttonholes, more of an automatic option where you put the button in the back here, set it for the length you want, and the buttonhole is done all 4 sides automatically, one after the other. So if you need 99 of them, you can have 99 identical buttonholes all at once. And after you sew a buttonhole, this foot here, the one with the little blue toes, that is your button sew-on foot. So those little toes grip the button and allow you to do a zigzag. You set the zigzag for the width that you need, go back and forth, and you can actually lower the feed dogs on this machine. That little lever is actually going to be inside here, right down at the bottom, where you can lower them or bring them back up. So that's for sewing on buttons. This foot makes it so much easier. Okay, seam ripper, yay. By the way, if you have one of these seam rippers already, do you know that the end part is supposed to be your extra handle? So if you've been using your seam ripper with this little stubby end, put that handle on. That's how you use a seam ripper. All right, one always comes with every machine. I think I probably have 20 of them in a drawer, and you never know. I'm always reaching for one, still to this day. Let's talk bobbins for a second. In this machine, I found 4 bobbins in that package, but there is actually 1 bobbin that is already in the bobbin case, so you actually get a total of 5. Now, one thing that we have asked our students throughout the years is how many bobbins do you actually own? And we have found that the average sewist has 15 to 20 bobbins. So some people had like 50 to 100, and some people had closer to 10 to 20, and there was more of those people than the 100 people. But I'm going to say, if you haven't already bought some extra bobbins, there is a link below that you can click on, buy yourself, again, 15 to 20 extra bobbins, and you will thank me later. That's about right to get you started. Extra needles. We are going to talk about needles throughout these videos, the importance of needles, and when things don't go right with your sewing machine, the question is, have you changed your needle lately? Do you have a fresh one in there? And do you have the right size of needle for the fabric you're working on and the thread thickness that you have selected? So if you choose a really small needle and you put kind of a heavier, chunkier thread in it, it is not going to work. But on the other hand, if you have a thinner fabric, you need to have a smaller needle to make a smaller hole. So you do need a thinner thread to go through that smaller needle eye. So that's something just to be aware of. But a little note, and there is a link below for this, is you can buy needles in the 100 pack. And that is the cheapest way to buy needles. I highly recommend it. I know it sounds overboard, but it is so much nicer. We've got a link to Schmetz needles down below, and then you rarely have to go to the store to get needles because you have plenty. So treat yourself to a pack of needles. Next time you need a Christmas list item for your friends or family, this is what you want to ask for. Okay, couple screwdrivers here to take the screws out on this plate, so when we go in and clean it, that will be ideal there. And then I am down to the last couple feet. So one of them is a blind hem foot. It's adjustable, and I've also used this for like when I'm sewing on the edge of something. That is really, really handy. I can adjust that, and then your edge of your fabric can be guided along that area. Really nice there. And I am saving this one for last because that one is my fun one that I always like to realize that came with the machine. I'm so happy to see it in here. Zipper foot, and this always looks funny. People always ask how this works, but there's actually 2 sides. So whether you attach it on the left or the right, depending on your zipper side you're stitching, will allow you to be nice and close to get that nice pretty top stitching. The clear foot here is one of the 2 extra feet, this one and this one, that is in the bernette 35 but is not in the bernette 33. So this is a clear foot, but it has a cutout on the underneath side. And the cutout is so when we do these decorative stitches over here, they're traditionally very filled in like a satin stitch. There's room for the stitches to flow out the back and not get hung up. So when you make it really, really dense, it can get caught on a regular foot, like there's not enough cutout back here on purpose, because that foot is for more your traditional straight and zigzagging, where this one is designed to be used for applique or heavier stitches. So that is ideal. Okay, and the best for last here is a hemmer foot. A hammer foot will turn that little edge of your fabric, lightweight fabric, cotton fabric, linen fabrics, turn it 2 times, make for the raw edge to disappear, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I will do a video on the hammer foot, especially because it's included with this machine, and that is, once you learn how to load it, I've got a super easy trick on how to load it. That will make the difference of whether you love that foot or hate that foot. Okay, yes, I'm going to just reference quality thread is going to make a difference when you sew. So if you've got older thread or thread that has been gifted to you from grandma or older sewing rooms, it might not be ideal for these new machines. So treat yourself to some quality thread. And if you're unsure, this one is actually a Mettler thread. This one is a signature thread. I'm going to use it because it's decorative thread and it's like variegated, super fun colors there. I also use a lot of Isacord thread, and that is a great thread just because it's super strong and it comes in lots and lots of colors. Okay, so the extra bonus pack of feet. So this is available to you, again, when you buy all the feet together. It is worth it. If you're thinking of joining us for our Stitching Cosmos online course, this foot set is also the best thing to buy because these are some of the feet we'll be covering in this course, and having them all at your fingertips would be ideal. We've put a link below where you can check out free videos to the Stitching Cosmos course and see if that course is right for you. There is a non-stick foot. This white foot is designed to slide on things that are sticky, like vinyl or plastic. If you are sewing any like clear zippered bags, that foot is going to glide and not get stuck where your metal foot would. There is a gathering foot, an invisible zipper foot, an open toe foot, which I do like to do when I'm doing decorative stitches, a darning or free motion quilting foot. So if you want to drop your feed dogs and free motion quilt, this is your foot for you. Cording or couching foot. So those 3 grooves, you can run cord through them and stitch over them, making for some fun embellishment options. Your 1/4 inch foot, or as it's listed, a patchwork foot. So for 1/4 inch seam allowances. An overlock foot. So if you don't have a serger, this is your foot of choice. Highly recommend that foot for any time you're working on knits or overlocking the edges of your fabric so they don't unravel. A straight stitch foot. So sometimes you see where you're getting really close up to a certain edge, and instead of having a foot with zigzag opening, that straight stitch foot will guide the needle, keep it nice and going straighter than straight. So put a straight stitch foot on. And then also an embroidery foot for some extra decorative stitches. That's all included. And then if you are looking for a walking foot, you do purchase that separately. And while I was looking at the feet hanging in our retail store, I realized that Bernette also packages a ruler foot. So this is free motion quilting with rulers. So if that is an option that you want to learn, there is a specific foot that is designed for it and is available for that machine. So find all the links below. Like I said, I put everything down there. Click on the more option if you're on a phone. Click on those links. And again, we thank you because we do get credit for your purchase. And a friendly reminder, as you're watching these videos and getting the free information, be sure to click like on each video that you watch. That is your way of saying thank you for this information. I wish you years of super sewing success while using these machines and being creative. Happy sewing!